want to know the real difference between those who achieve extraordinary success and those who live in mediocrity? It's not intelligence, it's not talent, it's not even the resources they start with. It's hunger. The people who rise to the top, the ones who dominate their industries, redefine their fields, and create real impact in the world, those people are insatiable. They never settle. They're never satisfied. They're always reaching for more, not because they're unhappy, but because they have wired themselves to grow. Hunger is the ultimate edge. When you have it, you'll do whatever it takes to succeed. You'll put in the hours when everyone else is asleep. You'll make the extra call, take the extra risk, push through when things get hard because there's no other option for you. Success isn't a nice to have. It's oxygen. And when you treat it like that, when you develop that level of commitment, the world has no choice but to respond. Think about it. The people who have truly changed the world, the ones who built empires and left legacies, didn't do it because they were comfortable. Steve Jobs wasn't comfortable. Elon Musk isn't comfortable. Oprah Winfrey didn't come from comfort. These people had an obsession with growth. They were driven by something beyond money, beyond status, something internal, something primal. That's hunger. And if you don't have it, you're already losing to someone who does. The challenge is that most people let their hunger fade. They hit a goal, they get a little success, and they start coasting. They stop pushing themselves. And before they know it, they've lost their edge. They've lost that fire that made them great in the first place. Look at the biggest names in business, in sports, in entertainment. How many of them peak, then disappear because they got comfortable, because they lost the hunger that got them there? So the real question is, how do you cultivate hunger and make sure it never dies? The answer is simple but not easy. You condition it. You have to train yourself every single day to want more, to demand more from yourself, to refuse to settle. And you do that by constantly putting yourself in situations that challenge you, by surrounding yourself with people who think bigger, who push harder, who refuse to accept average, by setting goals so big they scare you, because when you stretch yourself beyond your current limits, your hunger grows. You start to see what's possible, and once you've tasted that, you can't go back. Hunger isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, and once you have it, once you make it a permanent part of who you are, nothing can stop you. You will outwork, outthink, and outlast everyone around you. You will create momentum so powerful that success becomes inevitable. That's the difference between people who achieve greatness and people who just get by. So ask yourself right now, how hungry are you? Not yesterday, not last year, right now. Because the moment you lose that hunger is the moment you start losing everything you've worked for. Stay hungry, stay relentless, and watch how the world bends to those who refuse to stop pushing forward. Your mind is the command center of your life. Every action you take, every result you create, it all starts here. Most people don't realize this, but the quality of your life is a direct reflection of the patterns running in your mind. Your beliefs, your emotions, your focus. These things determine whether you step up and take control or whether you hesitate and let life happen to you. The problem is most people don't choose their mental programming, they absorb it. They pick up their beliefs from their parents, their environment, the media, and then they wonder why they feel stuck. If you want to create real lasting success, you have to take control of your mind. You have to recondition it for power, for certainty, for absolute clarity. Because here's the truth. Your brain is always being programmed, whether you realize it or not. The question is, are you the one doing the programming, or is the world doing it for you? Think about it. If you feed your mind doubt, fear, and limitations, what kind of life do you think you're going to create? If you constantly tell yourself you're not good enough, that success is for other people, that life is unfair, guess what? You're going to find proof of that everywhere. Your mind will filter the world in a way that reinforces your beliefs. But the opposite is also true. If you train your brain to see possibility, to focus on solutions, to expect success, your mind will start finding ways to make it happen. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is mastering your focus. Whatever you focus on, you feel. And whatever you feel, you act on. If you focus on what's missing in your life, if you focus on your fears, your failures, your doubts, you will create more of that. But if you train yourself to focus on what's possible, on the opportunities in front of you, on what you can do rather than what you can't, everything changes. You start to move differently. You carry yourself with confidence. You start attracting the right people, the right opportunities, the right circumstances. And don't think this is just some motivational theory. This is how your brain is wired. Neuroscience has proven that the brain has something called the reticular activating system, a filter that determines what you notice. Ever buy a new car and suddenly start seeing that car everywhere? It's not that there are more of them, it's that your brain is now tuned into that pattern. The same thing happens with success. When you program your mind to focus on opportunity, it will start showing up everywhere. This is why the most successful people in the world aren't just lucky. They don't just stumble into success. They condition themselves for it. They immerse themselves in environments that push them. They read, they study, they surround themselves with people who challenge them to think bigger. They train their minds every single day, just like an athlete trains their body, because they know that success is not about circumstances, it's about preparation. It's about having a mind that is so strong, so focused, so certain that nothing can shake you. And that's the level you need to play at. You can't control the economy. You can't control other people, but you can control the way you think. And that alone will determine how far you go. The world doesn't shape your destiny. Your mind does. And the moment you take charge of it, you stop reacting and start creating. So the question is, are you going to let your mind run on autopilot, or are you going to rewire it for success, for power, for unstoppable momentum? The choice is yours. You can have all the hunger in the world and you can train your mind to think like the most successful people on the planet, but none of it matters if you don't take action, because in the end, it's not what you know that changes your life. It's not what you plan, it's what you do. The biggest trap people fall into is waiting for the perfect time, waiting until they feel ready, waiting for more certainty, more confidence, more clarity. But let me tell you something, certainty doesn't come before action, it comes from action. The moment you start moving, the moment you start executing, that's when you gain confidence, and that's when momentum kicks in. Most people never reach their true potential because they never take enough action. They hesitate, they overanalyze, they let fear dictate their decisions, and in doing so, they rob themselves of their own power. Massive action is the cure-all. It overrides fear. It crushes doubt. It forces the world to respond to you. When you move with absolute conviction, when you decide that you will keep going no matter what, you become unstoppable. Because here's the truth, there are no perfect conditions. There is no right time. You either take action or you don't. And the people who win in life are the ones who move forward despite the uncertainty. Think about it. Every great innovator, every great leader, every great entrepreneur, they all have one thing in common. They act faster than everyone else. They don't sit around waiting for the stars to align. They step into the unknown. They make decisions. They adjust as they go. And that's why they win. Because while everyone else is still thinking about what to do, they've already made 10 moves. The key is to develop what I call a bias for action. That means training yourself to move now, not later. It means making speed your weapon. Not reckless speed, but intelligent, decisive speed. It means cutting out all the hesitation, all the overthinking, all the fear-based paralysis that keeps most people stuck. And the way you do that is by making action a habit. Every single day, you take steps, big or small, toward your goals. You don't wait to feel motivated. You don't wait for permission. You just execute. And let me be clear, taking action doesn't mean you'll always get it right. You will fail. You will make mistakes, but failure isn't what stops people. The fear of failure is. The reality is failure is just feedback. It's data. It's a necessary part of growth. Every setback, every mistake, every time something doesn't work, it's teaching you something. The people who succeed at the highest levels aren't the ones who avoid failure. They're the ones who fail faster, learn quicker, and keep moving forward. So the question is, what's stopping you from taking the level of action you know you're capable of? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Is it waiting for the right moment? Because I'll tell you right now, this is the right moment. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Make a decision, move, do something that shifts the game for you today, because life doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards those who move. Pain is inevitable in life. You can't avoid it. At some point, you're going to face setbacks, rejection, failure. You're going to hit moments where everything feels like it's falling apart, where you question whether you have what it takes. And in those moments, you have a choice. You can let pain break you, or you can use it to build something greater. The most successful people in the world, the ones who create lasting impact, who redefine industries, who defy the odds, are not the ones who never experienced pain. They're the ones who learn to turn pain into power. Because pain, when used correctly, is fuel. It's energy. It's the fire that forges strength. Look at history. Look at the people who have achieved the impossible. You'll see a pattern. Almost every single one of them went through adversity that would have crushed the average person. Oprah Winfrey grew up in extreme poverty and faced abuse. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. Elon Musk was bullied relentlessly as a kid and nearly lost everything multiple times in his career. These people didn't succeed despite their pain. They succeeded because of it. They used it as leverage. And that's the key. Pain can either paralyze you or propel you forward. And the difference is the meaning you attach to it. Most people see pain as a signal to stop. They experience hardship and tell themselves, this is proof I'm not good enough. This is proof I should quit. But the people who achieve greatness attach a different meaning to pain. They see it as a test, as a lesson, as a necessary part of growth. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? They ask, how is this happening for me? Because here's the truth. Pain is the universe's way of demanding more from you. It's a wake-up call. It's life telling you that you need to evolve. And if you resist it, if you try to avoid it, you miss the opportunity to grow into the person you're meant to be. Growth only happens under pressure. Muscles grow through resistance. Diamonds form under intense heat. And the same is true for you. The challenge is that most people numb their pain. They distract themselves with food, with alcohol, with social media, with anything that keeps them from feeling it. But that's the worst thing you can do, because pain doesn't disappear when you ignore it. It just waits. And it will keep showing up until you face it, until you learn from it, until you use it. So, how do you turn pain into power? You shift your perspective. You stop seeing pain as something to escape and start seeing it as the raw material for your next breakthrough. You take all the anger, all the frustration, all the hurt, and you channel it into action, into progress, into building something extraordinary. Think about the hardest thing you've ever been through, the moment that nearly broke you. Now imagine if you had never experienced it. Would you be as strong as you are today? Would you have the same drive, the same depth, the same wisdom? Probably not, because pain isn't here to destroy you, it's here to forge you. So whatever you're going through right now, whatever pain you've been carrying, make a decision. You will not let it define you. You will not let it hold you back. You will use it. You will turn it into fuel. Because in the end, pain will do one of two things. It will either break you or it will build you. And you get to decide which one it will be. Success is not a solo act. No matter how talented, driven, or intelligent you are, you will never reach your highest potential alone. Your environment shapes your destiny. The people you surround yourself with, your inner circle, your mentors, your peers, will either elevate you to greatness or keep you stuck in mediocrity. If you want to play at a higher level, you have to put yourself in rooms where people think bigger, move faster, and expect more from themselves. Because energy is contagious. Mindsets are contagious. If you spend time around people who make excuses, who settle, who talk about why things can't be done, then sooner or later that will become your reality. But if you immerse yourself in an environment of excellence, if you're surrounded by people who push limits, who demand more from life, who refuse to accept average, then that becomes your new standard. Look at any great achiever in history. They didn't just have vision or drive, they had proximity to the right people. Steve Jobs had Steve Wozniak. Warren Buffett had Benjamin Graham. Serena Williams had her sister Venus. These people didn't succeed in isolation. They aligned themselves with individuals who challenged them, refined them, and held them to a higher standard. So the real question is, who are you surrounding yourself with? Because whether you realize it or not, your peer group is conditioning you every single day. Their habits, their beliefs, their expectations are shaping the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you act. If you're around people who are complacent, who are comfortable with good enough, then even if you start out hungry, that hunger will fade. But if you put yourself in the right environment where growth is the norm, where people are constantly striving for more, then you have to rise. It becomes inevitable. And let me be clear, this doesn't mean you cut people out of your life just because they're not at the level you want to be, but it does mean you have to be intentional about where you invest your time and energy. You need to find people who challenge your thinking, who hold you accountable, who inspire you to be more. And if you don't have those people in your life right now, then seek them out. Read their books, listen to their podcasts, go to their events. Put yourself in places where high achievers gather, where excellence is expected, because your environment will either pull you forward or hold you back, and that choice is yours. The truth is, no one succeeds alone. Even the most self-made people in the world had guidance, had influence, had relationships that propelled them forward. So if you're serious about reaching your next level, stop trying to do it all on your own. Get in the right rooms, surround yourself with giants, because when you elevate your environment, you elevate your life. So ask yourself right now, are the people around you pushing you towards your vision or keeping you stuck where you are? If the answer isn't clear, it's time to level up, because in the end, success isn't just about what you do, it's about who you surround yourself with. And when you get that right, everything else falls into place. At some point in your life, you're going to realize that success isn't just about what you get, it's about what you give. You can chase money, status, power, and material things all you want, but at the end of the day, true fulfillment comes from contribution. The world doesn't bow to those who take the most, it bows to those who create the most impact, the ones who give more than they take. Because here's the truth, the more value you provide, the more unstoppable you become. If you want to build a business that thrives, focus on solving problems. If you want to be a leader people respect, focus on serving them. If you want to create wealth that lasts, focus on giving more value than anyone else in your industry. The people who make the biggest impact in the world aren't just asking, what can I get? They're asking, how can I serve? How can I make things better? How can I contribute something that lasts beyond me? Look at the greatest businesses, the greatest leaders, the greatest thinkers in history. They weren't just successful because they were skilled or talented. They were successful because they provided something valuable. Steve Jobs didn't just sell computers. He revolutionized the way people interact with technology. Elon Musk isn't just building cars, he's transforming entire industries. Oprah Winfrey didn't just build a media empire, she gave people a platform for growth, for transformation, for hope. These people understood a simple truth. The more value you create, the more influence, power, and success come back to you. And this applies to every area of life. If you want stronger relationships, give more. If you want more opportunities, provide more value. If you want to build a legacy, make an impact that outlives you. Because when you shift your focus from taking to giving, everything changes. People start seeing you as a leader. Doors start opening. You stop chasing success, and success starts chasing you. But here's what holds most people back. They operate from scarcity. They believe that if they give too much, they'll be left with nothing. They think success is a zero-sum game, that for them to win, someone else has to lose. But that's not how the world works. The most successful people understand that value is limitless. The more you give, the more you receive. The more you help others succeed, the more success comes your way. And this isn't just philosophy, it's psychology. Human beings are wired to reciprocate. When you provide value, when you genuinely serve others, people want to support you, follow you, do business with you. That's why the greatest brands, the greatest leaders, the greatest organizations don't just take, they give first. They create trust, they build relationships, they establish themselves as indispensable. And that's why they win. So ask yourself, how much value are you creating? Are you focusing on what you can take or on what you can give? Because the people who rise, the people who dominate, the people who leave a mark on the world are the ones who serve at the highest level. In the end, the secret to unstoppable success isn't about demanding more from life. It's about giving more to it. And when you do that, life has no choice but to reward you beyond anything you could imagine.